Hello everybody, it's your boy, Hopeless Knicks Fan 21, coming at y'all with the video today. And this is actually my first in-person video with the audience, with the YouTube community, so hello. I actually used to post videos, but I deleted all of them because I lost my passion for video making, even though it was just me talking to my camera. But in this time of coronavirus where everybody's lives are virtually stopped and a lot of other terrible things are going on in the world, I just feel that, well, not me personally, I hate saying I feel that posting some content will help people. Like, it sounds like selfish. I'm not trying to say that, I have the greatest content and I'm a god or anything like that. It kind of sounds weird. But I think, just having your mind on something else for a while is good for everybody. Just why I'm making these videos, man. Hopefully, hopefully somebody watches this and they can, just enjoy the video. Like I said, this channel is primarily basketball and sports stuff. If anything else comes up, I'll talk about it. I'm not really a ranter and a raver. Actually, I am, but I have to be in a mood for it, so that's not going to be happening today. But I can give you a brief summary about how I became a fan of sports in general, fan of basketball. I've always been watching sports. My dad's a huge sports fan. I'd always tune into him and watch games when I was a kid. But I started really religiously getting into sports in 2008 when I was 11. And it was Super Bowl 42 that really was the thing that got me hooked on sports forever. I started watching, like, religiously week 17 Giants playing the Patriots. They lost, but then watched the playoff run. That shit was crazy. I'm a New York sports fan. I'm from New York, okay? Ride or die that bitch. But basketball-wise, I started watching in 2010, and primarily it was because of Omari Stoudemire, who I have his jersey's hanging up here, and that man. And I will defend that man to my grave. Listen, for all the shit you can talk about Carmelo Anthony, is he overrated? I think aspects of his game are. But what this man did for basketball for me, I don't care what you say about him. I'll always love Carmelo Anthony. He'll always be one of my favorite players. I'll always love the fact that he came to New York. This light, it's weird. Sorry. I'm defending Carmelo Anthony to the death. I love the man. Love him forever. He always had a place in my heart, no matter what team he's on. And man, he's had some shitty ass players on his team, honestly. But that's a whole topic for another day. Let's not talk about Carmelo Anthony. I wanted to talk about something that has always bothered me. Not bothered me. Maybe that's not the word to use. I wanted to talk about something that NBA fans like myself have debated for years now, and will continue to debate for years. And I think you know where I'm going with this. And why I'm talking about this now is because, man, I see this all the time. I see people talk about this all the time, have their opinions, and I just don't think there'll ever be a concrete answer on this, because people have their own opinions, and they're gonna roll with what they think. And you know what? It's how it is. But for me, I'm gonna be talking about the GOAT debate of basketball, because I think it's very important that I give context on it, I give my opinion on it. Why? Because I feel like my opinion is unbiased. Some people will agree with me, some people won't. But I want to talk about it because I just find it really interesting, man. I find it really interesting to talk about the GOAT. Now, if you don't know what the GOAT is, for those people who are not really sports fans or basketball fans, which if you're watching this, I don't know why you wouldn't be, but if you don't know what the GOAT is, it's the greatest of all time. And the greatest of all time means the greatest player who ever played that sport. And as you know in life, listen, why is this such a debated topic? Because in life, unfortunately, there's winners and there's losers. And we idolize the winners. We idolize those guys who were amazing. We idolize those guys who dominated. For what reason, I freaking don't know. It's just human nature. And to be the best at something is what everybody wants to achieve. What everybody wants to attain. They want to be the best at something. And if you're the best at a sport, and mind you, if you play sports, you know sports, even if you've never been actively a part of sports or you just watch sports, you know that being the best at that, at a certain sport, is extremely difficult because it's a very small amount of people who make it to the sport anyways professionally. And it's a very few that are even decently good at the sport. So to say you're the best at it, it's a big ego trip for a lot of players. It really is. It truly, really is. It's kind of the reason why people like to talk about it. It's a topic that's hot. It's a topic that gets people's blood pumping. It gets their veins flowing. They're just like, greatest of all time, yes. And obviously, the greatest of all time, at the moment, it's two players who everybody talks about. It's LeBron and it's Michael Jordan. The young heads talk about LeBron being the GOAT. The old heads, Michael Jordan. And I'll give you my opinion on who I think is the greatest of all time. But that'll be at the end of the video because I don't want to spoil anything. And again, as I said, I'm going to try to be unbiased as much as I can. Now granted, I'm not the biggest LeBron fan. Never have been, never will be. Personally, his fans annoy the hell out of me. They think that God, LeBron fans are annoying. They really are. They're on level with Laker fans who are extremely annoying. No offense to the Laker fans who don't say anything. You know, I'm not talking about you guys. I'm talking about those damn social media Laker fans or social media LeBron fans. Listen, if you have to justify somebody and how great they are, that's something problematic with you guys. You need to stop. LeBron fans just annoy me. They're always shitting on somebody else. They're always making fun of somebody else. It's just like, dude, shut up. Let the man play his career out. Oh, but yes, I've never been a LeBron fan. Let me get more on topic on this on why I've been a LeBron fan. It's just something about LeBron. I never clicked with him, man. I never clicked with him, excuse me. I started watching basketball in 2010. So at that time, that was when he was a free agent. And I had watched a couple years before. I watched him lose in the Eastern Conference Finals to the Celtics in Orlando 2 years in a row. Then I saw the whole freaking Miami, the decision thing. That was terrible. He went to Miami. And it just pissed me off. It really did piss me off because, like, what happened to competition? And it's kind of my beef with sports nowadays, especially in the NBA, and I'll get to that in another video. Maybe I'll make it and post it today. Regardless, those are the things that kind of rubbed me the wrong way about LeBron. And, him proclaiming himself the king before he had done anything. And listen, if you're LeBron James and you're destroying everybody in high school and you're going to the NBA and you're this hot commodity, and he knew it, let me tell you something. He knew he was going to be a beast, and he is a beast. You're going to have an ego. You're going to think you're going to be cocky. He's always been cocky. And you know what? I like players like that. And you can call it hating that I don't like LeBron for that. But guess what? I respect that about LeBron. He knew he was nice. He knew he was a beast. He knew he was going to be a Hall of Famer. He knew he was going to be one of the greatest players of all time. No problem with that. No problem with that. It just rubbed me the wrong way. It just never clicked with him. There was something about him that I never liked. And when he went back to Cleveland, I was very happy. And again, I just like rooting for the top guy. Like, I don't root for Tom Brady. I don't root for LeBron. I have just certain players I like. I like the underdog. It's just how I am. So that's kind of a nutshell of why I don't really like LeBron. But regardless of everything I said about the man, I can't deny it. I'm number one LeBron hater. I can't deny the greatness of the man. I can't deny how much of a beast he is. I can't deny what an absolute Hall of Fame. He's the greatest player I've seen in my lifetime. Didn't see MJ, didn't see Oscar Robertson, didn't see Will Chamberlain. Missed out on Shaq. Saw Kobe a little bit, but it's towards the end of his prime. He's the greatest player I've ever seen. At the moment, he is. I can't deny that. All the accolades, all the great things he's done, it's phenomenal. But when talking about the GOAT, again, it goes back to Michael Jordan, it goes back to LeBron. I gave you a brief summary about LeBron. What my take is on him personally. But this whole GOAT debate, and I didn't expect this video to be like 20 minutes long, I hope it's not. I'm going to try to cut it short. The whole GOAT debate. When did it start? Why is it so prevalent? I kind of mentioned it. The thing is, you have to look in the context of history to understand why certain people are propped up. And I know that sounds extremely effing weird, but let me give you a little rundown. The NBA in the 1960s and 70s was not the NBA that it was today. And what I mean by that is I'm not talking about players, talent, etc., etc. I'm talking about financially. They were struggling. Like, really badly. To a point where I don't think the NBA thought they were going to be existing anymore. And I don't know exactly how bad it was. I know it was bad. I've heard people say it was bad. I know it was bad. It was terrible. And the thing that saved the NBA was the Larry Bird, Magic Johnson rivalry in the 80s. The golden age of the NBA. They called it the golden age for a reason. And why do I go back to those two? Because that rivalry sparked the NBA's revitalization in the 80s and in the 90s. And Michael Jordan was coming in the league. This beast of a player. And the NBA milked him dry. He was the cash cow for the league from the 80s to the 90s. And people still buy Jordan shit now. I don't want to say he's a product, because I don't want to diminish what MJ did. But what MJ did for the league, financially, and everything else was amazing. Same thing with Larry and Magic. And this is where the GOAT debate comes in. It's not really, I don't say it's not really about who's the greatest, but the NBA props people up because they want you to talk about them, so you're talking about the product. You see me talking about it right now. You talk about LeBron, you talk about Magic Johnson, you talk about Larry, you talk about Will, you talk about all these players. You're talking about the NBA. Which makes you think, oh, I'm talking about LeBron. Is he really the GOAT? Maybe let me go watch some clips about him. You go watch stuff, you're watching NBA stuff. Then you say, oh, I want to watch a game with LeBron when they're on. Well, I'm going to go watch the Lakers. You're watching NBA. Maybe you want to go see him. You go pay tickets. NBA gets your money. You see what I mean? Same thing with MJ. You say, oh, this MJ guy, I never heard of him. I want to see his highlights. You go watch it. You're watching the NBA. The GOAT debate is truly about, who's the greatest, but it's also the way for the league to get people to watch the product, to get people to talk about the product, to let the product still be prevalent. And again, in our society where there's winners and there's losers, we love talking about the ultimate winners over and over and over again. Which gets me to the GOAT debate. 15 damn minutes into my video. I'm super sorry, people. I like building the context and the aura of everything. Gets me to the GOAT debate. And here's the thing. It's LeBron, it's MJ, in my opinion. Honorable mentions to Larry Bird, to Magic Johnson, to Will Chamberlain, to Bill Russell, to Shaq, to Hakeem. Yes, Hakeem, I think he's a hell of a great player. Oscar Robertson, Jerry West. I think those guys are also there. Kobe. Although I think Kobe is a little overrated. I think he's top 10 all time, but that's just me. I know. Rest in peace, Mama. I think Kobe is also one of the greatest ever. I think he's top 10, not top 5 though. That's just personally me. Regardless, it's LeBron, it's MJ. We know this is to be true. I'm gonna tell you guys. Well, first of all, here's my beef with the GOAT thing. From younger fans like myself. And this is what annoys me about people when they talk about the GOAT debate. They cherry pick things. They cherry pick things about Michael Jordan and probably LeBron to push this narrative that he's the GOAT, and it annoys me. And here's why. They'll say things like Michael Jordan never went against the 73-19 and beat them. Or they'll say Michael Jordan didn't play in an era where there was guys. Michael Jordan didn't play against the Warriors. Or they'll say Michael Jordan played with 2 Hall of Famers. This is that annoys me. You're just like a lot of news network media. You're spinning propaganda to benefit LeBron, and I'm going to be honest with you. You have to go back in time, and this is the thing. You're doomed to repeat history if you don't learn from history. You have to know about the history of Michael Jordan. Go back and watch his games. Go ask an old person who watched him. To the analysts, the players. Just listen to what they say about the man. Just look back. It's very stupid of you to say. It's stupid to say things like that. What are you talking about? Michael Jordan never played against a team like the Warriors. The entire league was great back in the day. The Jazz, perennial contender. The Sons of Charles Barkley, contenders. The Knicks, the Pacers, the Heat, the Hornets were a pretty damn good team. Orlando, Indiana, the Rockets, the Supersonics, the Cavaliers, the Detroit Pistons, the Lakers, the Celtics. I just named, 13 teams that were contenders? The Hawks with Dominique? 14? Michael Jordan didn't play against competition, people say? Are you crazy? The league was much better talented-wise back in the day. They'll say things like, Michael Jordan played with 2 Hall of Famers. Yeah, Scottie Pippen was a Hall of Famer. Yes, that's right, he was a Hall of Famer, excuse me. That was the second three-peat. The first three-peater was Scottie. And their second best option was Horace Grant. Horace Grant, a good player. I don't want to shit on Horace Grant. He wasn't no Hall of Famer, though. Michael Jordan was a primary scorer for his team. I believe I saw a stat in the playoffs. Michael Jordan did not play with somebody who averaged more than 20 a game. I can name you 7 guys LeBron's played with that are averaged more than 20. Would you want me to name them? I can name them right now. Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, Ray Allen. Yes, he was at the end of his career, but still Ray Allen. If you want to take him out, okay. Kevin Love, Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis. Alright, it's 5. I said 7. Okay, sue me. It's 5 Hall of Famers that LeBron has played with. Michael played with 2 his entire career. 5 is more than 2. This whole notion that LeBron didn't have help. Yeah, early in his career, you're right. That cat team that he took to the NBA Finals when they got swept by the Spurs, they sucked. I'll give you that one. Michael Jordan, he had Scottie Pippen, and Scottie Pippen was not a scorer. Scottie Pippen was more of a distributor defender. Michael Jordan was the primary scorer on those teams. And then they'll talk about the stats. They'll say how LeBron has more assists, how LeBron has more rebounds, how LeBron's a better scorer. You're comparing apples to oranges. The eras are completely different. The era that Michael Jordan played, the three-point shot was not prevalent. It was about paint dominance. It was about defending. It was about physical play. It was about layups. You had to go and dunk, to go drive to the rim. In this modern era, it's about shooting. It's about offenses. It's about spacing. It's about running up and down the floor. There's not really that much defense being played, and don't kid yourself. A little ticky-tack foul, you slap somebody on the wrist, it's a foul. And there was games back then, there was games back then in the 90s where Michael got calls. Everybody gets calls. There was a couple games where, it was light fouls they were calling. I'll give you that. The eras are completely different, though. Michael Jordan averaged 30 in an era where it was hard to score. LeBron's averaging 25, 28, whatever the hell he's averaging, in an era where it's easy to score 30. Which is why when people say James Harden is as great of a scorer as Michael Jordan, they're crazy. James Harden is taking 30 shots a game, taking 23s a game. He's going to get to 30 easily at some point. Michael Jordan shot less threes, was double teamed predominantly most of his career, was still averaging 30. Think about that. And again, listen, it's going to sound like I'm trying to shit on LeBron. I'm not. But again, you have to give the entire context. You have to give an entire context to the sport. You have to give an entire context to everything. Michael Jordan averaged more points in his points. All of his stats went up in the playoffs. He shot 50% for his career. 50%. Yeah, LeBron's shooting high 50s, but LeBron's primarily scores in the paint. He dunks. And then people will say, oh, LeBron never lost in the first round. Can you name the teams LeBron went up against in the first round, the Eastern Conference? The Eastern Conference has sucked for almost 15 years now. That's a lame-ass GOAT answer thing. That's a lame-ass little thing that LeBron fans nitpick. Oh, he never lost in the first round. Michael Jordan went up against the Detroit Pistons in the first round over and over, the Boston Celtics in the first round over and over, the Atlanta Hawks in the first round over and over. I can go on and on and on. Teams were more talented back then. It's not a lie. I'm not saying this to spin the Michael Jordan GOAT shit. Just go back in time and look. Let your biases go. Let your biases go. Is LeBron a better passer and floor general and rebounder than Michael Jordan? Yes. When LeBron is into the game, is he probably a more dominant player than Michael Jordan? Probably. I can admit that. Again, I'm not a LeBron fan. You probably know where I'm going with this at the end of the day. But again, when we say things like Michael Jordan is 6-0 in the finals, when we say things like MJ, 6-0 in the finals, never went to Game 7, we're saying that not because of the championships. It's because think about how hard that is to do. In the era that Michael Jordan played in, with all the talent that was in the league, he's beating some of the best players who ever played and not even giving them chances to go to Game 7s. LeBron has lost multiple times in the finals. And people are going to, again, spin it. He played against the Warriors and Kevin Durant and all these things. And I'll give you that one, fine. Fuck it. That's just 2 finals he lost in. What about the other 3 that he lost? Okay, you want to say the 2007 finals? He took a scrub team to the finals against the Spurs. Okay, what about 2011? What about 2014? You can debate 2015. Okay, you didn't have Kyrie and those guys, but they were still in that series. And that was a young Warriors team that, we'll be honest, Steph Curry was playing like shit in those finals. They should have won. I'm going to summarize all this. I had a friend tell me, imagine if Michael Jordan had a player like a Dwayne Wade and a Chris Bosh. My friend said to me, do you think he would have lost Hell no, Michael Jordan wouldn't have lost. If you gave Michael Jordan Gary Payton and Patrick Ewing, or you gave Michael Jordan Hakeem Olajuwon and fucking Clyde Drexler on a team, or you gave Michael Jordan Charles Barkley and John Stockton, I'll say. Any other amount of players, I can name many of them. Do you think Michael Jordan would have lost in the finals with those guys? Hell no, he wouldn't have lost in the finals with those guys. And don't say some other nonsense about yes, he would have. You guys are delusional. Some of you fans are delusional. Stop it. And again, going back to Michael Jordan versus LeBron. It's always the excuse about LeBron choking. LeBron has choked. Many times. Many times. Has he learned from those choke jobs? Yes. He choked in the 2011 NBA Finals, came back the next 2 years and won it. I'll give you that. You're right. But he's given up many times. He gave up in the 2014 Finals. Gave up in the 2007 Finals. Gave up in the conference finals in 2008 and 2009. Gave up at the last 2 years in the finals when he was outmatched by the Warriors. Michael Jordan never quit. And that's the thing. And again, they're two different players. They're playing in two different eras. The styles are completely different. LeBron is more of a distributor, all-around player. Michael Jordan is more of a scoring, defensive player. And that's another thing. MJ was a primary scorer. He also wanted to play defense. He was Offensive Player of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year. Think about it. He won Defensive Player of the Year, which meant that he's exerting energy on both sides and still averaging 30. And still taking his team in deep playoff runs and still winning championships. LeBron hasn't done that. Sure, he had the block against Andre Iguodala, but LeBron is lazy on defense sometimes. And Michael was too at the end of his career. But you see what I'm saying? You obviously... This is the thing that gets lost in translation, if you want to say, is that people diminish eras before because they want to prop up guys like LeBron now. Because, I don't know if it's this whole generation, it's my generation, so my generation is better than yours. That's stupid. That's dumb. I was born in 96. I watched LeBron primarily for his entire career, but I don't just go and say LeBron is the best player I've ever seen. Well, I did say that. Let me rephrase that. I don't say LeBron is the greatest player ever. Because there was eras before. Eras were different back then. I understand that context. I'm smart enough and not a selfish asshole and not an idiot to know that there was eras before, they played differently, and it was harder back then. And don't give me that bullshit about, what are you talking about, bro? The era was so boring back then. Defense. Shut the hell up. Because the product now is so fun to watch, where there's teams jacking up threes and no defense played. Take out your egos, people. Breathe a little, relax. LeBron fans, calm down. LeBron James, like I said, he's one of the greatest players ever. In my mind, he'll be the second greatest. He's not going to be the greatest of all time. I'm sorry, Michael Jordan is the greatest ever. It's just, Michael was just, he was more clutch, played in a harder era, dominated in an era. Think about this. Back in the day, teams were built with bigs. Michael Jordan and the Bulls were the first team that won without bigs. Their wings were the ones that won. If it wasn't for guys like MJ, guys like LeBron and Kobe and Trae Young and Luka Doncic, people wouldn't have built their teams around these guys. Guys like Michael Jordan were the reason why guys like LeBron now and other guys wanted to play basketball, wanted to dominate, wanted to do things. Why teams nowadays build with shooting and not bigs anymore. It's true. So in my humble opinion, the whole GOAT debate, for me, it's really simple. I think that Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time. I just think statistically, MJ has the edge. And people will say, what are you talking about? LeBron has more points. Blah, blah, blah. LeBron came right out of high school. Michael Jordan went to college for 3 years. Michael Jordan broke his foot. Michael Jordan retired twice. So, LeBron has had 3 more years, no injuries, which I'll give him credit for, and he hasn't retired. That's an extra 5 years Michael Jordan, let's say, broken foot 3rd year, an extra 3 years because of college, retirement, extra 5 years that Michael Jordan didn't play. Statistically, Michael Jordan is better in the playoffs and the regular season. Championships-wise, if you want to count that, he has 6, LeBron has 3. And you want to dive deeper into the championship talk? Michael Jordan never went to Game 7. LeBron has had, what, 3? 2? I don't remember. Michael Jordan never lost in the finals. We say this because it's extremely difficult not to lose. Every great Hall of Fame player has lost in the finals. Wilt, Jerry. I believe Bill Russell lost. Not sure. Can't remember. Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, Hakeem Olajuwon, Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett, Kobe Bryant, Shaq, Dwayne Wade, LeBron, Gary Payton, Sean Kemp, Magic, Larry. Michael never lost in the Isaiah Thomas. Michael never lost in the finals. Think about that. One man, every time he got... This is why I say Michael is the GOAT, and this is what my main point is. When a player reaches the mountaintop, how long does he stay on the mountaintop, and does he fall off the mountaintop? Once Michael went to the top, he never fell off the top. If you want to count that season where he came back halfway through and they lost to the Magic, okay, fine, a little steep fall. But he got right back up and won 3 more championships in a row. LeBron got to the mountaintop and is fallen. And then got up and fallen. So MJ is... LeBron is... You get me? I don't know if there's much else to say. To me, you youngins need to stop being foolish and stupid, because you guys are being stupid. And go back and watch games. And if you ask people from the 60s, they'd say Bill Russell's the GOAT. You ask people in the 70s, they'd say Wilt is the GOAT. Or Oscar Robertson. Or Dr. J. You ask people from the 80s, it's Larry and Magic. People in the 90s, they say MJ. People in the 2000s, they say Kobe. I don't like this narrative about LeBron being the GOAT, and you have to diminish Michael Jordan, all this other bullshit from guys like Nick Wright and others. LeBron fans in general. Get your heads out of your butts. And be okay with admitting that LeBron is not the GOAT. Because he's not. He's not. It's that simple. I didn't intend for this video to be 35 minutes. I'm sorry if you watched the entire thing. God bless you. Thank you. Yeah, this was fun. I'm going to keep posting videos. I'll keep talking about things. Yay. That's my opinion. Okay. I'll see you guys in the next one, hopefully.